Hey guys, this is Frozen 2 Fanboy 2004 here, and welcome back to another movie review. And this is gonna be a very interesting movie review. Oh boy, yeah, this is gonna be very interesting because I'm gonna be reviewing a cult classic. Yeah, you know one of those cult classics like The Room, The Wicker Man, which I don't think which I haven't seen The Wicker Man yet. Food no, not Food Fight, definitely not Food Fight. Probably Shark Tale. What else? Yeah, those kinds of movies where it's considered so bad it's good. Well, yeah, this falls under the category of a so bad it's good movie, and this is my so bad it's good movie, and I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. It says in the title, "The Room of Animated Movies," and it definitely deserves to be titled that way because that's exactly what this movie is. And the movie I'm reviewing is Pinocchio, A True Story. Yep, the animated Pinocchio movie, the first Pinocchio movie to come out this year in 2022. And personally, I consider it a 2022 movie. I know some people consider it a 2021 movie, but for me, it's 2022. But anyway, back to the topic. Yeah, so Pinocchio, A True Story. It is basically the story of Pinocchio. It's nothing like the Disney movie, and basically the plot for his movie is about Pinocchio who wants to see the world, and he begs his father to let him see the world, and then at first his father wants to keep him safe at home, but then later on his father allows him to go out to see the world, where like they Pinocchio joins the circus, falls in love, and then must defeat the circus master, who's similar to Stromboli but not. So yeah, fun fact: I actually refused to watch Pinocchio: True Story. I refused to watch the film when I heard of it, like of how stupid it looks. Like the animation looks really creepy, and I was like, "Are you serious? Nope, I'm not watching this movie." And so and then how did I decide to watch this movie? You may say basically and I watched when I watched Animat's review of the live action remake of Pinocchio, which by the way that Pinocchio movie gets worse the more I think about it. Yeah, yeah. When I saw Animat's review of the Pinocchio remake, he showed a clip of two of the biggest highlights from this movie, this particular movie. He mentioned it, and then like I heard like Pinocchio say, "Father, tell me, when can I leave to see the world? I've got." Wait, no, my bad. I mean, wait, I said it wrong. I think it's, "Father, tell me, when can I leave to be on my own? I've got the whole world to see." Yeah, and then you see like this cat shooting a Pinocchio with a gun, and oh my god, seriously, those two scenes, I was literally laughing. It was hilarious. So I was like, oh my god, this actually looks like a so bad it's good movie. I gotta watch it, but I was a little skeptical because what if but yeah, so I watched the film like in that same day, a few hours later after I saw Anima's review of Pinocchio, and oh boy, oh my god, seriously, this is literally the greatest bad movie of all time. This is seriously, yeah, this is better than The Room, and better than The Room, better than Shark Tale, and definitely better than Morbius, which sorry guys, Morbius does not deserve to be a cult classic. But yeah, that Pinocchio View the true story is very fascinating. Yeah, let's talk about the like why it's actually so bad it's good, and then I'll get to my real thoughts on the film. So yeah, I'll start this off by saying that Pinocchio True Story is better than the 2022 live action remake in every way. I don't care what y'all think. Whether it's good or bad, I mean, it's still better than the 2022 remake. Let me explain why. Because to be honest, I think the 2022 remake is so bad. It's just plain bad. Like there's nothing guilty pleasure about it. Yeah, there's nothing that I would say is a guilty pleasure. It's just all like, I'm sure you know what I mean by that. It's just terrible. Yeah, Pinocchio remake is just boring. It's bland. It's literally a disgrace to the original. And then like literally I forgot to mention in my rant in it, but Pinocchio doesn't turn to a real boy in the end. Are you serious? Like how do you end the movie with Pinocchio not turning into a real boy? Like that's just dumb. I I know people say that if you look closely, that Pinocchio does slowly transform, but they just don't show her. Yeah, that's still unforgivable in my opinion, because we just show like Geppetto, like they don't like get to see Geppetto like seeing Pinocchio become a real boy, so that's just stupid. But this what's fascinating about Pinocchio, a true story, is that this movie is actually very self-aware. It's bad, but at least it knows it's bad. At least it's not trying. Unlike the remake, at least this is not trying to be a good movie. It wasn't even attempting to. It just wants us to have fun for how bad it is. I mean, this movie had one job, to at least entertain, and I think this movie did not disappoint me one bit. I know, like when Pinocchio left the when Pinocchio left the house, like I was actually got a little worried that that this was not gonna be like a so bad kid movie. It was just gonna be a plain bad movie. But turns out, yeah, it absolutely delivered in every single way possible. Pinocchio True Story, it sucks. It is a disaster. It was terrible. Like it's just so bad. And I mean, I'm literally saying those with a happy face on purpose, because because that's really how I review my guilty pleasures. Yeah, my guilty pleasures. I rant about them, but with a happy face on it. Um, and yeah, so now let's talk about why this movie is amazing, brilliant masterpiece. Because for how bad it is, yeah, I mean, first of all, the voice acting of Pinocchio absolutely steals it. The dubbed voice acting is just phenomenal in the worst way possible. Like seriously, like this is how Pinocchio sounds. See, this is so fascinating. Father, tell me, when can I leave to be on my own? I've got the whole world to see. This is how Pinocchio talks in the movie, and I like to make an impression out of here because this is so much fun. Yep, that's how Pinocchio talks. And some of the greatest voice acting. Seriously, this guy needs to be hired in other anime movies. Yeah, I think he would be perfect to voice Kristoff from in Frozen 3. Oh wait, but Jonathan Groff is perfect. I think this guy would be perfect to voice Kristoff for some reason. Yeah, and also the horse. Yeah, the horse also has like a standout voice. I mean, seriously, I mean, one thing that's really interesting about this movie is that it doesn't use sound effects. Like it doesn't use the horse sound effects like you hear in movies. You know how this actor who voices the horse tries to impersonate to impersonate the horse sound. He's like nay nay, and then skidoo, like that. And I think it's very fascinating that an actor tries to do the impression without actually this movie like try to do too much by adding in a horse sound effect. I mean, that's actually very interesting, and it was the way he does it. It was just hilarious. Yeah. And yeah. One thing I also like about this film is that the story. I mean, the story is stupid. I know, but at least it's not a rehash. At least it does tell a different story. I mean, it tells the story of a woman boy wanting to travel the world, and we don't see a cricket. Basically, the horse replaces the cricket, and Pinocchio. How I say it here. And Pinocchio that doesn't have his nose growing in eyes. I mean, does he even lie in this movie? I can't remember if he does. And yeah. What else? Oh yeah, and now my favorite scene in the film was when this cat, like I already mentioned this earlier, the cat eating Pinocchio. That scene made the movie for me. That scene is just art. It is a work of art. And yeah, and my thoughts on the animation. Well, the animation is I don't know if I could say anything about the animation, if it's actually worth praising for how bad it is, but it is. I don't know. I have no idea what to say about the animation, but I will say the beginning of the film where Pinocchio's head seemed decapitated, like when Geppetto put bills in. I mean, that was creepy in a good way, in a hilarious way. I like that. Oh yeah, also there's a pop culture reference I mean, Geppetto tries to like brainstorm what to name Pinocchio. He thinks of naming him Leonardo. I was like, oh no, no, not. And then he mentions Leonardo. He references Leonardo DiCaprio and Leonardo from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles all at the same time. Yeah, how cool is that? I mean, that is definitely a way better pop culture reference. And speaking of pop culture reference, I forgot to mention in my rant of Pinocchio 2020, the Easter egg, the frosted Easter eggs, and in the Geppetto's clocks, like in Geppetto's clocks, you see Woody, you see Who Framed Roger Rabbit, you see I don't know, I forgot, but a lot of other Disney stuff. I think, oh yeah, Lion King, I can't remember. I think Alice in Wonderland. Yeah, all those Disney movies and that one Robert Zemeckis movie. Yeah, that was stupid. That was so stupid. But like in here in this movie, when Geppetto like references Leonardo DiCaprio, and Ninja Turtles Leonardo, like wow. And by the way, yeah, that Leonardo DiCaprio reference is a much better reference than in the remake when they reference Chris Pine. Like the Chris Pine joke is so stupid, it made no sense. Probably one of the worst jokes I've ever heard in the movie. Period. Yeah, and honestly, to be honest, if I were to judge this movie objectively, like unironically, it's bad, but it's not as bad as everyone else has to be. Like, I can't get myself to give it a 1 out of 10 because it's just so funny. It's just, I mean, the jokes really hit me, and it's actually enjoyable. Like, I think it is a really enjoyable movie. And oh yeah, also like there's so many other dialogue. Oh yeah, also another thing that was ironically that's so stupid for ironic purposes was when this detective comes into Geppetto's home, and then he asks Geppetto like if there's anything suspicious, and then he just basically stalks Geppetto in his home. He stalks him by asking him, "Hey, is there any suspicious activity you're doing?" And then Geppetto's like, "Wait, what do you mean suspicious? Like, what's going on?" He's like, "Oh, you have something suspicious." Like, he doesn't even explain. Like, he just like stalls. Just stalls around, like asking this something suspicious, that just for the sake of it. That was a hilariously bad scene. Yeah. Yeah, this movie is bad, but I don't think it's not as much as everyone else makes it out to be. So yeah. Overall, Pinocchio, a true story, is it's pretty much my favorite bad movie. It really is a guilty pleasure. And yeah, I absolutely love this movie for how stupid it is, for how ugly it is, and for how cheesy the dialogue is, and a very fascinating voice. I think Pinocchio, a true story, is a movie you should experience once to see how bad it is, and to laugh at how bad it is, and to appreciate this as a work of art. This is literally one of the movies of all time, and this is gonna make a billions of wooden dollars at the box office. So yeah, please go watch this film, and don't take this film way too seriously, because I think they really intended this to be a bad movie, but their only goal was to make you enjoy it. So just enjoy the movie. Don't look at how bad it is. I mean, don't please don't take this movie too seriously. So yeah, with that said, how do I rate this movie? Well, on an ironic if I were to judge this ironically, it's definitely a 10 out of 10. Yeah, easily. But if I were to rate this unironically, I'm gonna have to give it a 4 out of 10. Like, at least it tries to be entertaining. Yeah, so 4 out of 10. So that's my review of Pinocchio, a true story. Do you agree with me that this is a so bad it's good movie, or do you think that this is just a plain bad movie? Comment down below, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and stay tuned for my rant on Beast. And bye guys.